The Arcanate had ruled the galaxy for 6,000 years. Their empire stretched across 47 star systems. Their technology bent physics itself, and their society operated with the precision of a quantum computer. They had assimilated 212 species into their collective, all of them grateful to abandon their chaotic past for the Arcanate's order. Then, they discovered humanity. First contact occurred on a Tuesday. The Archon warship Eternal Symmetry detected unusual energy signatures near Sol 3, Earth. High Arbiter. Kelthane stood on the observation deck, his crystalline form refracting the light of a yellow star he'd never bothered to name. Analysis, he commanded. His science officer, a multi-limbed Vryn, chirped nervously. Highness, the species is primitive. Nuclear fission, chemical rockets, wireless communication grids. Kelthane's optical clusters dimmed with disappointment. Stage 2 civilization. Barely worth cataloging. But Highness, the Vryn hesitated. Their cultural output is unprecedented. Explain. The view screen flickered. Images flooded in. Paintings, sculptures, music, films, books, dances, architecture. Human faces laughing, crying, screaming, singing. A cacophony of emotion and expression that made the orderly Archon bridge feel suddenly claustrophobic. Kelthane recoiled. What is this chaos? They call it art, Highness. They produce it constantly. Every individual creates. They have millions of distinct languages, thousands of religions, countless belief systems. They argue, they contradict themselves, Enough. Kelthane's tone was sharp as shattered glass. This is a disease. Implement quarantine protocol Sigma. No contact. No observation. Seal the system, the Vryn bowed. At once, Highness. But it was already too late. Before the Eternal Symmetry could withdraw, a junior technician on Earth, a woman named Dr. Amara Chen, had detected the ship's energy signature. She worked at SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and she'd spent 15 years listening to cosmic static. Tonight, the static answered back. Oh my God, she whispered, watching her monitors light up with impossible patterns. Oh my God, they're real. She hit record. She saved everything. And because she was human, chaotic, impulsive, beautiful in her defiance, she posted it online before calling her superiors. The file went viral in 43 minutes. By dawn, 2 billion people had seen the proof. By noon, Earth's governments were in emergency session. By nightfall, every human being with an internet connection was creating songs about first contact, paintings of alien worlds, stories about starfaring humans, memes about galactic bureaucracy. Humanity didn't wait for permission. They reached out to the stars with everything they had. Radio broadcasts of symphonies, digital packages of literature, laser-transmitted films. A species introducing itself with the only weapon they'd ever truly mastered, their culture. 3 months later, the Arcanate Council convened. 12 High Arbiters materialized in the Grand Conclave, their crystalline forms shimmering in perfect unison. Kelthane stood at the center, his usually flawless composure fractured. The quarantine has failed, he announced. Shocked silence rippled through the chamber. Impossible. High Arbiter Sevthrak said. We erected quantum barriers. How could a Stage 2 civilization breach them? They didn't breach them, Kelthane admitted. They went through our own networks. Human signals were captured by autonomous trade vessels. Curiosity led to study. Study led to infection. Infection? Sevthrak's voice rose. Speak plainly, Kelthane gestured. The hologram in the center of the chamber changed. It showed a Vryn colony world, perfectly ordered cities, efficient transport networks, synchronized populations. But something was wrong. Buildings had colorful murals painted on them. Vryn citizens were gathered in public spaces, not working, just talking, laughing. Some were playing crude musical instruments. They're expressing themselves, Kelthane said, his voice hollow. They watched human entertainment broadcasts, downloaded human literature. Now they're creating their own. Another image appeared, a Keltar industrial hub. The precise, hive-minded Keltar had always been the Arcanate's most obedient subjects. But now, scattered among the assembly lines, Keltar workers were sculpting metal scraps into abstract shapes during their rest cycles. They call them hobbies, Kelthane said bitterly. A human concept. Purposeless creation for personal satisfaction. This is a virus, Sevthrak declared. Cultural contamination. We must purge it immediately. We tried, Kelthane said quietly. We banned human content, executed distributors, burned the files, and they made more. The idea is out now. Across 12 colony worlds, populations are questioning their purpose. Artists are emerging. Individuals are claiming identity separate from the collective. The council fell silent. High Arbiter Lynn Savra, the eldest among them, spoke for the first time. Her voice carried the weight of millennia. You said the humans are stage 2. How long until they develop faster than light travel? Kelthane checked his databanks. Projections estimate 200 to 400 years. Then we have time, Lynn Savra said coldly. We eliminate the source, sterilize Sol 3 before their culture spreads further. Genocide? Kelthane asked. Inoculation. Lynn Savra corrected. We are surgeons cutting out a tumor. The Arcanate has maintained order for 6,000 years. We will not let chaos destroy it. The vote was unanimous. 12 warships were dispatched to Earth. On the bridge of the Eternal Symmetry, Kelthane watched the blue-green planet grow larger in the view screen. Somewhere down there, 8 billion humans lived and dreamed and created, completely unaware that their existence had been deemed a threat to galactic order. Charge. The extinction array, he commanded. The weapon hummed to life. The extinction array took 12 hours to charge. Kelthane stood motionless on the bridge, watching Earth rotate peacefully below. Cities glittered like scattered diamonds across the night side. He could see weather patterns swirling over oceans, ice caps gleaming at the poles. Green continents teeming with life. Somewhere down there, Dr. Amara Chen was probably still listening to the stars. Highness, his tactical officer interrupted. We're receiving a transmission from the surface. Kelthane's optical clusters flickered. Impossible. We're cloaked. They don't have the technology to detect us. Nevertheless, Highness, audio only. It's addressed to you. By name. The bridge went silent. Play it, Kelthane commanded. Static crackled. Then a human voice, female, calm, impossibly confident, filled the chamber. High Arbiter Kelthane of the Arcanate warship Eternal Symmetry. This is Dr. Amara Chen, representing the people of Earth. We know you're up there. We know why you've come, and we'd like to make you an offer. Kelthane's form rippled with shock. How? The voice continued. 3 months ago, you tried to quarantine us. You underestimated 2 things. First, human curiosity. We've been listening to your ships, decoding your communications, learning your language. Second, human stubbornness. When you tried to erase us from your networks, we became a virus. Your firewall became our classroom. The tactical officer's mandibles trembled. Highness, this is impossible. They're centuries away from this level of, we don't have your technology, Amara's voice admitted, but we have something you've forgotten. We have stories, and stories are the most powerful technology in the universe. Kelthane felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries. Uncertainty. You think you're about to commit a clean, surgical genocide. But you're not. Because before you fire that weapon, I want you to listen to something. Just one song. 3 minutes and 42 seconds of your time. If you still want to kill us after that, we won't stop you. We can't. Silence filled the bridge. Highness, the extinction array is fully charged. We can fire at will. Kelthane stared at the planet. 8 billion lives. One song. Play it, he said quietly. The music began softly, a lone piano. Simple notes that climbed and fell like breathing. Then a voice joined, human, raw, imperfect. The words were in a language called English, but the translation matrix provided meaning. We are small, we are fragile, we are dust among the stars, but we dream. We create and we are more than what we are. Strings swelled beneath the voice. A choir joined, hundreds of human voices blending in harmony and discord, beauty and chaos intertwined. Kelthane felt something crack inside his crystalline form. The song painted images. Humans climbing mountains for no reason except to reach the top. Artists creating masterpieces that wouldn't be seen for centuries. Scientists dying before their theories were proven. Parents sacrificing everything for children they'd never see grow old. We are hope against the darkness. We are light against the void. We are stories written in starlight. We are songs the universe employed. The music crescendoed. Instruments from every human culture joined. Drums, guitars, sitars, didgeridoos. Synthesizers. a chaotic symphony that should have been noise but somehow became transcendent. Kelthane watched his crew. The Vryn science officer's antennae were trembling. The Keltar navigator had stopped moving entirely, optical sensors locked on the speaker. Even his tactical officer, a species bred for war, had lowered his weapons console. They were all listening. The song reached its final verse. Before you erase us from existence, before you silence every song, know that we were here. We mattered, know that we were here. And we were strong, not strong like stars that burn forever, not strong like ships that cross the void, strong like flowers breaking concrete, strong like joy that can't be destroyed. The music faded. The piano played its final notes. Then silence. 12 warships hung in orbit, weapons charged, fingers on triggers, and nobody fired. Kelthane's voice was barely a whisper. Again. Highness? Play it again. The song played 17 times before High Arbiter Lynn Savra's transmission cut through. Kelthane, status report. Why haven't you fired? He couldn't answer. How could he explain that a 3-minute song had done what 6,000 years of Arconate philosophy could not? How could he tell her that he finally understood what the humans had been trying to say all along? They were mortal, so they made immortality. They carved their brief existence into art and music and stories, ensuring that even after they were gone, some part of them would echo through eternity. They didn't accept the universe's indifference. They defied it with every painting, every poem, every desperate, beautiful creation. Kelthane, respond immediately or I will assume command of... He cut the transmission. Open a channel to Earth, he commanded. Dr. Chen specifically. His crew stared at him. He didn't care. The view screen flickered. A human face appeared. Brown skin, dark eyes, gray hair tied back. She looked tired, terrified, but her chin was raised in defiance. Dr. Chen, Kelthane said, you asked for 3 minutes. You've bought yourself considerably more. Relief flooded her features. You're not going to... I don't know what I'm going to do, he admitted. But I need to understand. Why did you send me a song? Why not data, technology, strategic value? Amara smiled sadly. Because those things don't matter. When I detected your ship 3 months ago, I didn't think about our weapons or resources. I thought about my daughter's laugh, my husband's paintings, the coffee I drink every morning while watching the sunrise. I thought about all the small, beautiful, meaningless things that make life worth living. She leaned closer to the camera. We can't beat you, High Arbiter, but we can show you what you'll destroy. Not infrastructure, not resources, not strategic assets, stories. 8 billion individual universes, each one containing loves and losses, hopes and fears, dreams that will never be realized if you pull that trigger. Kelthane was silent for a long moment. Then he asked the question that would change everything. Dr. Chen, would you teach us how to create again? The Council's response was immediate and furious. High Arbiter Lynn Savra's hologram materialized on the bridge, her crystalline form blazing with anger. Behind her, the other 11 Arbiters stood in judgment. Kelthane, you have committed treason against the Arconate. You will fire the extinction array immediately or be relieved of command and executed. Kelthane stood perfectly still. Around him, his crew watched in silence. He could feel their uncertainty, millennia of obedience warring against something new, awakening inside them. No, he said simply. The word hung in the air like a detonation. You dare refuse a direct order? I dare question it, Kelthane replied. For 6,000 years, we've built an empire on order and efficiency. We've eliminated chaos, silenced dissent, erased individuality, and what have we created? A galaxy of identical minds thinking identical thoughts, building identical futures. We created stability, Lynn Savra snapped. Peace. Prosperity. We created stagnation, Kelthane countered. When was the last time anyone in the Arconate created something new? Not optimized existing designs, truly created? When did we last ask why instead of just how? Philosophy is irrelevant. You have your orders. Then execute me, Kelthane said quietly. But first I want every member of this council to listen to one human song. 3 minutes and 42 seconds. If you can hear it and still order genocide, I'll fire the weapon myself. Lynn Savra's form flickered with rage. You think a primitive audio file will... I think, Kelthane interrupted, that you're afraid, not of humanity's weapons, of their ideas. The challenge hung between them. Finally, Lynn Savra spoke. "Play your song, Kelthane. When it changes nothing, you will face execution." The music began. Kelthane watched the council as the song played. At first, they were dismissive, crystalline forms rigid with certainty. But as the piano notes climbed and fell, as the human voice joined with its imperfect beauty, something changed. High Arbiter Sevthrek's optical clusters brightened, then dimmed, cycling through patterns Kelthane had never seen before. Was that emotion? High Arbiter Krenval, who hadn't spoken in 3 centuries, suddenly shuddered. His form refracted light differently, colors bleeding through his usually clear structure. And Lynn Savra, ancient, cold, perfect Lynn Savra, stood completely motionless as the music washed over her. When the final notes faded, she didn't speak for a long time. "What?" Her voice was uncertain, fragile. "What was that?" "That," Kelthane said gently, "was a species screaming into the void that they exist, that they matter, that despite being small and mortal and powerless, they refuse to be silent." "It's illogical," Lynn Savra whispered. "It serves no function." And yet you felt something," Kelthane finished. Perhaps for the first time in millennia. The council stood in silence, each arbiter processing something they didn't have words for. 6,000 years of perfect order cracking like ice over a thawing river. High Arbiter Krenval spoke, his voice rusty from disuse. "I remember now. Before the Great Unification, before we became the Arconate, we used to sing, create. We had stories of our own. We sacrificed those things for progress," Lynn Savra said, but her voice lacked conviction. "Did we?" Kelthane asked. "Or did we just forget why progress matters? Humans build rockets to touch the stars, but they write poetry about the journey. They develop medicine to save lives, then create art celebrating those lives. They never separated creation from purpose. They understood they were the same thing." "This is chaos," Lynn Savra said weakly. "This is life," Kelthane replied. On Earth, Dr. Amara Chen waited. The transmission with Kelthane had ended 3 hours ago. Since then, silence. She sat in the SETI facility, surrounded by equipment, staring at monitors showing 12 warships still in orbit. Her phone buzzed. Her daughter Mira's face appeared on the screen. "Mom, did it work?" Amara looked at the orbital scans. "I don't know, sweetheart. We're still here. That's something." "The song was beautiful, Mom. Dad would have loved it." Amara's throat tightened. Her husband, a painter who died 2 years ago, had always believed art could change the world. She'd thought it was naive romanticism. Maybe he'd been right all along. "Dr. Chen." A technician burst into the room. "The ships, they're moving." Amara's heart stopped. This was it. Either they were leaving or the view screen activated. Kelthane's face appeared, but something was different. His crystalline form seemed softer somehow, light refracting through him in new patterns. "Dr. Chen," he said, "the council has reached a decision." She held her breath. "We're not going to kill you," Kelthane continued. "We're going to learn from you." 6 months later, everything had changed. The Arcanate didn't fall, it transformed. Slowly, carefully, like a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis that had lasted 6,000 years. On Vryn colony worlds, public theaters opened. Citizens gathered not to receive information, but to share stories, laugh together, cry together. Music filled spaces that had been silent for millennia. On Keltar industrial hubs, workers requested time for creative pursuits. Assembly lines still ran efficiently, but now they were decorated with murals, sculptures, expressions of individual identity finally allowed to bloom. And on the Arcanate homeworld, something unprecedented happened. High Arbiter Lynn Savra created art. It was a crystalline sculpture, crude and imperfect by any technical standard, but it represented something she'd felt while listening to human music, an emotion she didn't have words for. Joy, perhaps, or hope. She titled it Awakening. Kelthane stood on Earth in Dr. Chen's office at SETI. Through the window, he could see humans going about their chaotic, beautiful lives, creating, destroying, loving, arguing, building, dreaming. "Your species saved itself with a song," he said. "I'm not sure my people will ever fully understand how you did it." Amara smiled. "We didn't do anything special. We just showed you what you'd forgotten. That existence without expression is just survival. We don't want to just survive. We want to matter. You do, Kelthane said quietly. More than you know. Your cultural contamination, as the Council called it, has spread to 47 star systems now. Individuals are questioning, creating, becoming. Is that a bad thing? Kelthane's form shimmered, the Archon equivalent of a smile. It's chaotic, inefficient, unpredictable. He paused. It's alive. Amara extended her hand, a human gesture of friendship. After a moment's hesitation, Kelthane formed a crystalline appendage and grasped it. Welcome to the beautiful mess, Amara said. Above them, in orbit, the 12 warships that had come to commit genocide now served as cultural exchange vessels. Humans teaching aliens to paint. Aliens teaching humans mathematics that bent space-time. 2 species, and soon 200 more, learning that the greatest weapon in the universe wasn't technology or force. It was the courage to create. Epilogue. 200 years later, when humanity finally developed faster than light travel, they didn't venture into the galaxy as conquerors or refugees. They came as artists, storytellers, musicians, poets, and the galaxy, slowly awakening from its 6,000-year sleep, welcomed them with open arms and newfound songs of its own. Because humanity hadn't just saved themselves that day when Dr. Chen sent her transmission, they'd saved everyone.